guys, and welcome to a new GTK status bar tutorial. Well, today we are going to talk about signals, and if you didn't really understood until now what I was talking about the pop head and push head functions, or better said about the GTK I need to go back. GTK status bar pop and GTK status bar push. One good reason will be because, of course, you already know this, I'm not the best teacher, whatever. But I think with the help of this tutorial right now, we are going to fix this, and you will definitely understand what's the story with them once that we are done with the signals, which basically explain you what exactly are you doing when you call GTK status bar and GTK status bar push and pop. At this point, I clean a little bit the program. I only have those three calls, so GTK get context ID and push and pop. Nothing special. I'm going to compile it and run it. You won't see nothing because it doesn't. You don't have something to see. I called pop, so I remove it. I'm just going to comment this call it now for a second, just to be sure that the gnome.org is there, and it is. Okay, now let us see what's the story with the signals. So I'm going to click here on signals, and we have two, which is the text pop and text push, as you can see. So let us see the text push first. It says it is emit whenever a new message gets pushed onto a stack. So basically, when you are creating a message by calling the GTK status bar push it, basically you are doing this, and the signal, it is here to show you exactly what you did and to take action. So that being said, we need 4 parameters, or we need to pass it expects 4 parameters for you. The first is the status bar, the second, which is the object, of course. The second is the context ID. You should already be familiar with it. The next is the text, which is the message that was pushed. In this case, the text belongs to the status bar push, the www.gnome.org. And the last one is the user data, which of course also now we are not going to use it. So let us create a function which is important for us, and I'm going to call it void push callback, nothing special. And of course we need a status bar, you already saw this, and the second one which we need is the context ID. I'm going to provide it as well, and the last one, because we are going to use only 3, it is the text. Okay, now let us define this function with some information, and I'm going to say g return if fail. This time I'm not going to check against status bar, I'm going to use g return if fail. So GTK is status bar. I'm going to make another playlist about these return times and what exactly means. It's not the case right now. I'm just use it to take care about the status bar part. And now I'm going to say g print, and here I'm going to use a tab, and I'm going to say inside the push it callback, wherever. And now, because we need to know for sure that we are here, and now g print, and here we are going to print some information. So I'm going to say the context ID is %u, and the text is %s, nothing special, and of course context ID and the message, which is the text in this case. Now let me compile it around and see that everything is fine, and compiles fine. I'm going to copy this because we need to create we need to get a signal. So g signal connect swept, I need status bar, the signal g callback which is the bullshit callback, and of course the status bar as well. Now we need a signal, so I'm going back and copy the signal name to pass it to our function, to our gsignal connect swap function. And now that we cache this function, this signal on the status bar, we are swapping it with the same one, and we are basically calling the bullshit callback. I'm going to compile it and run it. You won't see much difference, and I'm going to explain right in a second why. You see, we see nothing. You should already know. If not, go back to my signal and events playlist. What you should know is that if you need to get something, you need to be prepared for it. So this means you need to call the signal before you make some changes, like here, and not after. Now, because I moved the call of the function before of the status bar push, now you will see the difference, which is very important for you to understand. And as you can see, it says inside the push it callback we are, yes, so the constant ID is 1 and the message is gnome.org, which is good. Okay, now let us see what's the story with the other one, which is the Puppet. It says is emitted whenever a new message is popped. So basically here we saw is emitted whenever a new message get pushed, and here whenever the message get popped, which is when this thing happens. Basically, you see you have an object, you have the context ID, the message that was just popped, and the user data set when the signal handler was connected. Okay, so we are going to create another function. I'm going to copy this one right here. I don't want to do the same thing again, and I'm just going to call popped callback. And here, because it takes the same parameters, arguments, I'm only going to change this one right here, popped. And now, because we have it, we can make another call of the GTK connect swap, and this time we are going to pass the popped callback, and we need the popped text popped signal as well. And now I'm going to compile it and run it. You won't see no different because we didn't pop something, so as you can see we have nothing. But now I'm going to show you something. I'm going to call the GTK StatusBar pop, and because this function takes only 2 arguments, the status bar and the context ID, I'm going to copy them right now. And now let me show you something. What do you think retrieves the status bar pop? Yep. As you can notice, we are inside the push it callback and we have this information, but when we are inside the popped callback, it says the context ID is 0 and the text is null. Why is null? I mean, let us go back. The text pop said the message that was just popped. Where's the message? Because definitely when I compile and run this program right now, we have no message, isn't it? It says null. Even what happens if we now call, for example, GTK push, let's say with some other information, let's say youtube.com, which is also very important. I'm going to compile it and run it. Let's see what happens. And now, as you can see, we have inside the push it callback, we have the text. Inside the popped we had nothing, and the pusher has also information. And our popped has null. Why? Well, this is the story which you should understand. And this happens. You need to understand that there will be a stack created, which means one message at a time will be created. And when you basically call GTK status pop right after you create after you call the GTK status push where you put a message, basically you remove everything you have inside, so this function doesn't have something to print, isn't it? So to make it work, to make it print something, that means you need to create more context. You see, I'm creating more things right now, and I'm going to say whatever, AAA, BBB, whatever. It's not important. CCC. Now watch. Let me remove this one. Watch what happens now. We have 4 calls of the GTK push, and then we call the GTK status pop. This is very important. So As you can see, the last one is BBB, because this is the last one which we added, isn't it? Right here. And the last one was CCC, but it is the last one, the BB, because we removed the CCC because of the GTK status bar, isn't it? Okay, now watch. As you can see now, push it, push it, push it, push it, pop it. And inside the pop it says the last message is BBB. Because this is the message which you get it. This is the last message which is found inside the stack. Once that you have more messages, then you get the last one, which is on the top. If you don't have more messages, you have only one and you remove it. That was the reason why you got null. So basically, this is the reason why you get a null right now, because we are pushing a message and then we are popping it. Of course, that our function will return null. What should return instead? That's the main important part which you need to understand when you call these functions. I mean, once that you call this function, it will remove the message you just created. So to be sure that your function returns something against your information, you need to create a stack with more messages. If not, you get a null. So if you get a null, then the story goes a little bit different, isn't it? So this means if it happens like this, then you need to take care about it. So I'm going to make some changes. So I'm going to say now, if text is null, isn't it? So basically this is what we are going to check, okay? If text is equal to null, then or better said, if text, if it's not equal to null, we are going to print this one. If not, then we are going to say else there gprint, there is no text message, or whatever. You decide what are you doing with these calls. It's your decision. So let me compile and run it right now. Yes, I forgot a semicolon at the end of the gprint call. Now watch. It says inside the pop-it callback we have the www.bbbb.com. Yeah, it's true, because it is the last one which remains. We just remove this one and works fine. Okay, now if we remove these calls and we have basically only a push and the pop call, now we are not going to print a null text, isn't it? We are not going to play with that text. Instead, watch, instead we have there is no text message. You see, we have different, because why should we print a context ID and the text which is not there? The context ID will be always 0. We'll set always to 0 when you have no message to be printed for your status bar. I hope you understand it. Just try to follow this video. If you need to watch it again, then do it. But I think you understand now what makes the difference, and with the help of these signals, we basically saw how exactly works this status bar, and it's a push and pop call as well. Okay, that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.